And once again, hello, everyone. From Frisco, Texas, Toyota Stadium, I'm Jim Powers from the NCAA. I'll be moderating our press conferences this afternoon, and joining us are our national runners-up in the 2022 FCS Championship, Montana State. Joining us are players Isaiah Mfanze and Ty Dakota. We'll have about 10 minutes with our student-athletes, and then once we wrap up with our student-athletes, we'll bring in Bobcat head coach Brent Vegan to join us for a few moments. So what we'll do is we'll just do it just like we did yesterday. We will have you use the raise your hand feature. I will call on you. Once I call on you, I'll turn your mic, make it hot, ask your question, and then we'll go ahead and we will turn you down once you ask your question. Once again, we'll have our student athletes for about 10 minutes, and we'll open things up with Victor Flores. Victor, your mic is hot. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi guys, just for both of you, what can you just describe kind of how you're feeling right now? What's going through your mind? You're able to hear that? Yeah, just wanted to get a sense of how you're feeling and what's going through your mind right now.
I'm really just, I'm thankful and fortunate that God has put me in the position and our team in this position to be here. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of our seniors that have had a huge impact on our team and turning this thing around and really just building what we will, as seniors to be, will continue to do. So first, Tyrell Thomas, Trey Webb, Amandre Williams, Nate Stewart, Tucker Rovig, Troy Anderson, Taden Gilman, Chase Benson, Daniel Hardy, Ryan Davis, Taylor Tuiasosopo, Dylan Porter, Lewis Kidd, Peyton Hanser, Lance McCutcheon, Kyle Rigg, Byron Rollins. I just want to say thank you to you guys. You've had such an impact on my life and an impact on this team, and you really set the standard on how you should be as men outside of football as well as football players. So thank you.
Isaiah, go ahead.
Like, you spend all off season and spring working towards the opportunity to compete for a title, so coming up short always hurts, but I'm thankful to be in the position with my team that I am.
Our next question will be by Eric Peterson. Eric, your mic is hot. Go ahead, please.
I got one for Isaiah. Just describe kind of how you had to change your game plan once Tommy went down on that first drive, and a second one for Ty about just stopping NDSU's run game. Why was that so difficult?
I think how we changed our game plan when Tommy went down was we kind of lost. I wouldn't say we lost the ability, but we were limited to what we could do while running on the perimeter. So that was difficult, but I thought that we overcame that.
Yeah, and then on your question, they play tough physical football. I couldn't give you the exact answer as to what was so tough for us in that first half, but I feel like we made a few adjustments, and yeah, I couldn't really hit on that. I'm not sure.
Our next question will come from Coulter Nunez from Skyline Sports. Coulter, your mic is hot. Please go ahead.
Hey, guys. For Ty, actually, even though you're playing defense, when the starting quarterback goes down, how does that impact your mindset? Does it change it at all?
No, it doesn't change our role. I know our job is to go out there and get stops, which we didn't do a good enough job of today. So, whoever's playing back there at quarterback, I have all the faith in the world in Tucker. He's led this team before to, big-time games, and you got Zay in the backfield and those guys on offense. So, really, we just didn't do a good enough job on our part of taking care of business. So, no, it doesn't really affect us. Our job is to stop the other team from scoring. We didn't do a good enough job of that today.
We'll go to Colton Poole. Colton, your mic is hot. Please go ahead.
Hey guys, you mentioned what the seniors have done, but as seniors to be, I'm curious how motivated you guys are going to be to get back to this stage moving forward.
I feel like I feel like we're extremely motivated to just get ready and grind again and hopefully be here next year.
No doubt. I mean, we owe it to these seniors to get us back here and to take it all away because they, they set forth this standard, and that's what we just got to continue doing.
Our next question will come from Ronald Smith. Ronald, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
My name is Ronald E. Smith, and my question is for both players. You talked about how much, just to bounce off on what those players, the seniors, meant to you and as the season as a whole. So I would love to know, just from your take, if you could wrap it up now, what does this season mean to you of the relationships that you made throughout the year?
I feel like with this class, Ty and I, we've known the guys for 4+ years. So the senior class was very special to us, and the new guys who came in, the transfers and whatnot, they molded with us extremely well, and the bond that we just created, it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't really even have anything else to add. I think Zay hit it right on the nail right there. So
our next question will come from Christopher Heidel. Christopher, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
Hi, guys. Sorry for your tough loss this afternoon. Is there something you guys could learn from this game? Because I know you guys haven't been to the title game before until this year. Is there something you guys could bring to spring practice to get you guys more, focused, motivated for next year? They say, we got here, but we want to finish.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, this just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and it breeds a little fire in you to, take that into the off season and get back right here and take care of business next time.
Just take it one day at a time and try to get better with every day in the off season.
Our next question will come from Parker Cotton. Parker, your mic is hot. Correction. Our next question will come from Coulter Nunez. Coulter, your mic is hot. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, question for both players. I mean, you kind of touched on it there, but what did you learn throughout this season that you guys can now take into your senior years?
How to deal with adversity. I mean, we were faced with a lot of challenging things throughout this year, and I thought that our seniors were a great example of how to face that head on. Don't let it bother you, and really just coming back from anything bad that's going on, just how to face adversity and come back for sure. So we're gonna take that in. We're gonna take that example and precedent that those older guys have set, and continue to build upon that next year.
I think Ty hit that kind of right on the spot with adversity. We've been through a lot this year, and no one ever really complained or anything. We just got ready to complete whatever task we had at hand that week.
Okay, our next question will come from Parker Cotton, we believe. No, it's not going to let us go to there. Any other questions for our student athletes as we are starting to run up against the time limit for our student athletes? We'll have time for one more. Victor Flores, your mic is hot. Please go ahead.
Question for Ty. I saw you were huddling with Daniel Hardy after the game for quite a bit and gave him a big hug. I was just curious if you could share what you said to him and what kind of that conversation was like.
I mean, kind of just hitting back on the adversity piece. I mean, he's a young man that's had a lot of adversity in his life, whether it be on the football field or outside the football field. And the way that he's dealt with it is tremendous. I mean, that kid has no quit in him. He's been through a lot of things, and I just let him know that I admire that about him, and it's going to take him a long way in life. Wherever that may be and wherever he chooses to go, he'll have success because he's been able to deal with adversity and face it head on. And I just thanked him for everything that he's done for not only myself, but the program and as a person, the example that he set. So, yeah.
Outstanding. Gentlemen, thank you. Congratulations on an outstanding season this year. Thank you for joining us here in our post-game press conference. Thank you. Now joining us, ladies and gentlemen, is the head coach for Montana State, Brent Vigum. And, Coach, first off, let's have you go with a few opening remarks before we open it up for questions from our media.
Well, first off, I want to congratulate North Dakota State. They were the better team for sure today. We're able to play their brand of football, grab the momentum really quick, and we were never able to get it back. And at the same time, I want to express a great deal of appreciation for our guys. Our guys continued to battle and fight, and in particular, our group of 5th and 6th year guys that are going to be taking the pads off for the last time today. And we have 16 guys that play a lot of different roles on this team, but through a lot of things, they led the way, and they've taken Bobcat football to another level. And our intent was not just to get here. So it leaves a very sour taste in your mouth. It hurts a lot. Our guys put a lot into this for a long time. They didn't play in 2020 and didn't play in the spring of 21. It's an unbelievable group of young men that will do great things, no matter where they head off to, and they'll always be special to me, and they're always going to be a real special group to this program. There's no question about it. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Outstanding, Coach. Thank you so much. And same as we've been doing, if you would like to ask a question of Coach, please use the raise your hand option. Let's start with Colton Poole. Colton, your mic is live. Please go ahead and ask your question.
All right. For starters, with Tommy going out early, I'm just curious how that changed your game plan and what you thought of Tucker stepping in.
Well, I think it definitely changed us. But it's the next man up mentality, and that's Tucker's first real live bullets are going experience this season. He's got a lot of game experience in his past. So I thought he went out there and competed real well. Did everything that he could. It just I think both sides of football, we got beat today, and I'm certain there was part of that was our doing, and certainly a lot of credit goes to NDSU.
Our next question comes from Eric Peterson. Eric, your mic is hot. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Sorry, you described, NDSU getting the momentum early. How hard is it to slow them down once they kind of get their run game rolling so early in the game?
Well, it proved to be really challenging today. By no means did we make them one-dimensional. By no means did we put a lot of pressure on their quarterback to make plays. And I thought in those instances when it was still a back-and-forth affair, I thought he made some plays. So credit to them, but yeah, the ball got rolling, and it was really hard for us to stop it today.
Our next question comes from Christopher Heidel. Christopher, your mic is hot. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Coach. Sorry for the tough loss today. With your quarterback going down after the first series, how did you get your team to to rally around all that? Because I know that's a lot of basically a distraction. With him going down, and you had everything all ready to go this week, and then now you had that problem. How did you get the team to say, "Hey, we can still do this"?
Well, you throw out there a fifth-year captain, and a guy that a lot of these guys had seen out there many times. It hadn't been this year, but like I said before, Tucker had played in a lot of games, and you just keep fighting. You make it about one play, you make it about one series. And our guys kept going after it. We just didn't have enough today.
Our next question will come from Coulter Nunez. Coulter, your mic is hot. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Coach. Wanted to ask you about a couple different scenarios in the game. Early, when you had like the fake field goal, was that intended to be a fake? And then I also wanted to ask you about the fourth down, I guess, in the third quarter where you took the deep shot down the sideline as well.
Well, the sequence of events that happened on that first one, I knew Tommy got hurt the play before. I think we were sitting in about a 4th and 4. We were kind of right on. We were probably within Blake's range, but it was a two-way play, and it didn't work out for us. And then we certainly didn't want to kick it into the end zone, but that one didn't work out. I think the one you'd be referring to, 4th and short, I can't recall what the score was at that time. The way that worked out, I think Lance was the guy that Tucker went after. He liked the matchup. It was a run pass scenario. He just if you're going to do that, you got to give Lance a chance to make a play on the ball, and I don't think he did in that sequence. So, yeah, 2 plays that didn't go our way. We wanted to be aggressive in this game, and knew that it would take some plays of that making to come out on top, and unfortunately it didn't work out.
Our next question comes from Ronald Smith. Ronald, your mic is hot. Please go ahead and ask your question.
This is Ronald E. Smith. Coach, you brought up about your seniors who will soon be graduating. I wanted to go with that to you. What do you hope that they take out of this while playing football and move on to the rest of their lives, whatever they may do?
Well, if you have a really positive college athletics experience, in this case football for these guys, really feel like it can something you can fall back to on a daily basis, whether that's in your line of work, with your family. And when you have a positive experience like I think our guys have had, it's sky's the limit as far as what that can do for you. Playing the sport of football and being part of the makeup and the fabric of what a team means is something that's I think often like misunderstood in our society. It's unlike anything else. It's the ultimate team sport. The lessons you learn about perseverance, about teamwork, you can't get a lot of places. So I hope that answered your question. But these guys, had a amazing experience while they're at Montana State. I think the bar has been set really high as far as what we're looking for in our leaders. And I think our young guys can follow that direction. And I know this group of guys, these seniors are going to be very successful at whatever they choose to do.
Our next question comes from Victor Flores. Victor, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
Hey, Brent. I was curious, as somebody who knows the other program on the other side of the sideline really well, what did you have any message to your players kind of about that's the benchmark and that's what we should aspire to be?
I think our guys know that. This is 3 consecutive seasons that's ended at the hands of NDSU. I think our guys they didn't need to be reminded of that. But I truly believe that we continue to close it, but they're not slowing down either. So I think that's going to continue to be the message, guys. We made it to a certain point. Our team's it's changed right now. We're going to be on to the 22 group of Bobcats, and we have to keep getting better every day. And that's that's in the weight room. That's as a program in general. I think we got to keep pushing the envelope. I mean, that's what North Dakota State's continued to do in every facet of that program. They've continued to push the envelope, and credit to them.
We have time for 3 more questions that are in the queue right now. Colton Poole will be up next. Colton, your mic is hot. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, Brent, I guess kind of a 2-part question for me. One is, what do you think, because Lance broke the single season receiving yards record, what do you think of his impact in this game and for the season, I guess, but also just generally speaking, what will you remember this team most for when you look back on your first team as a head coach?
Well, first off with Lance, yeah, Lance had an incredible season. I think of a guy meeting with him back in February, and I'd seen him move around a little bit. I watched some film, and really, I think we empowered Lance to become great. Gave him opportunities, and he did that. He's gonna be there's big shoes to fill, and I don't think Lance McCutcheon is done playing football. And I don't think anybody might have said that this time last year. So, I'm really proud of Lance and what he's become, and certainly what he's aspiring to be. And 11 months I think on the dot from when I got hired. It was February 8th. I think just a transformation of being in that Hall of Fame room and looking at a bunch of wide-eyed guys that were willing to listen. Willing to trust, willing to buy in. I think that's going to be it. It's been a crazy 11 months, a wild ride, but just appreciate them so much.
Next question comes from Eric Peterson. Eric, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
Like you said, you didn't put Cam Miller in too many tough spots, but I think early in the game, a 3rd and long, hit Christian Watson, and then Christian Watson had another big one on their second drive. I guess how big was just, letting Watson get a couple big plays early on to kind of jumpstart some of their drives?
Yeah, we got them off schedule a few times early, and they responded. It wasn't the ground game initially. It was a combination. And, for us to be successful today, we didn't come nearly as close. I mean, not even close to say ground game wise. We slowed them down, I think. But early on, it was a matter of, they made some plays that, maybe there was opportunities for us too, and change the balance of that initial, who's gonna take the momentum and run with it. So yeah, he's a really good player. I mean, he's got all the tools. Christian Watson does, and to have him back, I know was a big lift for them.
And our final question for Coach will come from Coulter Nunez. Coulter, your mic is hot. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I don't need a quote about it. Just wondering when specifically did Tommy get hurt? And then my final question though is, it was awesome hearing from Ty Okada and Isaiah Fonse earlier. And so you must think that starting with those two guys and some of the juniors you got coming back, that at least moving into this next chapter, the future is bright at Montana State.
Yeah, Tommy got hurt, I believe on the 3rd down. It maybe was even the play before. I know he got up a little slow. I think it was the play before, actually, the 2nd down play. To put Ty and Isaiah up here, I think was representative of two guys that have poured everything in and will continue to. Neither one of those guys played against South Dakota State in the semifinal game, but there was no way they were going to be held out of this opportunity. We will count on those two, no question, to be leaders, to be playmakers moving forward. And I caught a little bit of their comments. I think they're not only great representations of what this 21 team is about, but you could hear it in their voice that they'll be bound and determined to lead this 22 outfit moving forward.
Outstanding, Coach. Thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on an outstanding season, and we appreciate everything you've done this week.
All right, thank you.
That was Montana State head coach Brent Vigum. We will switch gears, and we will start off with North Dakota State, their student athletes first, and then we'll bring in their head coach, Matt Entz, here in a moment. So please stay online. It'll be the same link. It'll be the same Zoom link. We will go ahead and bring in North Dakota State here in about 2 minutes. All right, everybody, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're actually going to have our FCS national champion head coach from North Dakota State, Matt Entz, join us. And, Coach, opening comments on just a terrific performance by the Bison today.
I appreciate it. All the credit goes to our coaching staff, to our administration, President Brashani, Matt Larson. Our players did an unbelievable job over the course of the last year, I should say, but most importantly, the last 3 weeks of just getting locked into the details, coming ready to work every day, and enjoying one another. I think that's the thing that I get most excited about when I think about this group of kids. And that was a good win. That was a good football team on the other sideline. Brent does a great job. You can tell his impact in that program, but it was going to be hard to beat the Bison today, especially when you have guys like Cordell Volson, Jackson Hankey, Hunter Lipke. Cam Miller continues to get better. And, my message to him today was be the best Cam Miller you can be. So many people, want to know who's going to be the next Carson Wentz or Trey Lance or Easton Stick. No, I need Cam Miller to be the best Cam Miller he can be. Same with Quincy Patterson and those two young men. The way they share the room, the way they work together, along with Coach Hedberg is unbelievable. And I think it just shows the servant leadership and the Bison pride that fills our program. With that, I'll open up if there's any questions.
I'm sure we're going to have a few for you, Coach. So we'll get started once again. Same that we've been doing yesterday and today. Use the raise your hand function. And once I call on you, I'll turn your mic, make it hot, ask your question, and then we'll go ahead and mute you back up. Let's start off with Eric Peterson. Eric, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
Coach, just start with Hunter Lipke's first touchdown run. It looks like he kind of went into the contact when he probably could have went in the end zone. Is it just like a tone setter when you have a guy who runs as physical as Hunter does?
Well, yeah, of course it is. I think it's a tone setter when you have a 5 offensive linemen, you got your crew chiefs, your tight ends, and I know it's intangible and you can't measure it, but we want to lead the country in physicality, and when you have a back like that, it sure helps.
Our next question comes from Nick Kuzin. Nick, your mic is hot. Please ask your question. Nick, your mic is hot. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Coach, when did you get a sense that this game is really going in your direction?
Well, I mean, probably at halftime, you felt, when you're able to score 28 in the first half. But I don't know if I ever felt comfortable. Probably maybe when the Gatorade or the Powerade came over my shoulder, that might have been when I started to feel comfortable. But I wanted to see us finish, and that's what we talk about here is putting complete games together. And I thought our kids came out with great energy. We challenged them to start fast, cut it loose, and I think you saw that early in the game when we were able to have some success early.
Our next question comes from Colton Poole. Colton, your mic is hot. Please ask your question. Colton, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
Sorry about that. Hey, Coach, even with the change at quarterback for MSU, Lance McCutcheon, their receiver 86, still found a fair amount of room to kind of operate and make an impact. What did you see out of him from your vantage point?
Well, he's a big, long kid. He creates separation with his size. Couple 50-50 balls that he was able to go up and get. We knew that was one of their things, especially if they saw press coverage, they were going to try to check to the fade, and they got a couple on us, and I'm sure we'll get to the film at some point and go back and wish we could have those plays back, but they got good players on that team.
Next question comes from Ronald Smith. Ronald, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
This is Ronald E. Smith. Coach, every season is different, and you can never judge the same way. So for you, now that the title is secured, what can you define this team for this season?
Well, I spoke to someone earlier today. The common word that came up before we walked out for the game from our captains and from our seniors was the word love. And I think these kids appreciate one another. They appreciate the energy. They appreciate the hard work, and it's all about their teammates. This isn't a limelight. This isn't a spotlight program. You're not coming here to be the guy and have gaudy stats. You're coming here to win and hopefully win championships and get a degree. So I think just the camaraderie that this group had. We've been practicing football for a year, so it is a unique group. They've probably practiced 200 days in the last year, and we've spent a lot of time with them as coaches. They spent a lot of time with us and our families, and I think that closeness and that tight-knitness that we've created helped us get to where we were today.
Our next question comes from Jeff Kolpak. Jeff, your mic is hot. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Describe the field conditions today.
Oh, it was a little wet, but I mean, it was the same for both teams. And so, Mother Nature wanted to get involved, and she did. And we had to change some things a little bit. I know up front we were losing our feet with our D-line a little bit at different times. So we probably went to more power rush versus trying to move, take edges and just do a better job of keeping the quarterback in the pocket. But like I said, I don't think the field conditions had any impact truly on the outcome of the game.
Our next question comes from Christopher Heidel. Christopher, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on winning the championship.
Thank you.
I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Talk about your game plan kind of changed. I never seen you guys run the ball a lot, like an option type, format. You did that in the third quarter. Is that something you guys decided to do just to kill clock, or just normally that I didn't see that at Towson this year?
Well, it's just one of those things that we've probably had in the playbook and wanted to take advantage of. We knew late in the game that we wanted to run the football and start and trying to, put this game away. So, I think it was just when you have 3 weeks, you want to bring out some things that maybe you haven't shown during the regular season.
Our next question comes from Coulter Nunez. Coulter, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys are so consistently excellent on the offensive line, and you guys dominated one of the best defensive fronts in the country today. How important was that today? But also, how do you maintain so much consistent domination in that element of the game?
Well, winning line of scrimmage is critical for us in every game, and that's one of our emphasis that we have going into every game. We have to, again, lead the country in physicality, and we're going to do that with our O-line and D-line. We got great depth in those two position groups. I think we're probably one of the few teams in the country that celebrates O-line. O-linemen are cult heroes in Fargo, North Dakota. Cordell, everyone knows who 67 is. And we celebrate those guys. We lean on those guys. And I've said it 100 times, and I'll keep saying it. This program's built on our O-line and playing good defense. And if we can do those two things, we have an opportunity to win every game.
Our next question comes from Eric Peterson. Eric, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
2 parts. I guess just Christian Watson seemed to make some big catches early on to kind of jumpstart your first 2 drives. His impact, and then just what does it mean to win a 9th championship as a program, FCS championship?
Well, Christian, deep ball threat. We tried to run the double post early with him. Thought we were going to get it to Babbage because we had the safety fall off it because he saw Christian down the field. But he did. He had four targets, 4 catches. They were all big. I know. I think one of them was a 3rd down catch that was critical later in the game. But just having Christian, he brings leadership. He's played a lot of football for us. He brings energy. It's been wonderful having him and his family associated with this program. And to win a 9th championship, I kind of like what we did with our hype video. This was the first championship for this team. Don't get caught up too much in the numbers, but I am super excited for this group of young men and the fact that they were able to end this season in championship format.
Our next question comes from Nick Kuzin. Nick, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
Hey, Coach, what continues to make Lipke so dominant when he's running the ball?
Big, strong, physical kid. He runs with it behind his pads. He's got the best offensive line in front of him in the country. He's got the best coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball, and he's got the best strength coach in the country. And so you add all those things up, it makes for good players.
Next question comes from Victor Flores. Victor, your mic is hot. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Matt. Kind of along the same lines of the offensive line, I was wondering if there's one matchup in the interior, especially that really stood out, and then if this game, what reminded you most about the 2019 game?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if anything reminded me of the 2019 game. This was this year's game, and so I enjoyed every moment of it, just being out there and seeing these guys compete at the highest level. I apologize. I got a bunch of knuckleheads to my left here bothering me right now. So it was fun to see these guys, all their work and all their effort come full circle, and they earned this today.
Coach, before we let you go to these guys, because I think they want to escort you down to the locker room, final thoughts, final comments on a 9th national championship in 11 years.
Just there's too many people for me to think of right now that I need to thank, but I know President Brashani's here, Matt Larson, my family, our players. We got some kick-ass kids on this football team, and so excuse my language, but they know what I think of them, and what an amazing finish to what was an unbelievable year.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on the national championship. Go celebrate with your student athletes.
I'd love to. Thank you.
Matt Eds joins us here. It will be a couple minutes. Coach wants to speak to his team briefly, has not had the opportunity to. So Coach is going to speak to his team, and then we'll have our 2 student athletes joining us probably in about 5 minutes. So we will step aside for about 5 minutes, and then we'll have our student athletes from the national champions in 2022 here in Frisco, Texas. It's North Dakota State. We'll visit with their student athletes in approximately 5 minutes. And we welcome you back inside Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, as North Dakota State wins their 9th national championship in 11 years, a 38-10 victory over Montana State. And as us from North Dakota State is Jackson Harkey. So those are our student athletes that are joining us. Once again, if you have questions for our student athletes, please use the raise your hand function, and we will get started here momentarily, and I will open the questioning up for our student athletes. And first off, Hunter, talk a little bit about the day out there and being named the most outstanding player.
Well, for starters, it was a beautiful day in Frisco. It wasn't snowing like last time we were here, so I'm always thankful for that. The fans were loud, ecstatic. It was exciting. And then just the game itself, everything went our way. We had a good game plan. Everybody executed well, and we came out on with a W. So everything we drew up happened, so it was a good day.
And let's go over to Jackson Hankey right now. Jackson, your thoughts on just an outstanding performance today by you guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, like Hunter said, things clicked for us. We were able to play well, to play disciplined, to keep them out of the end zone for the most part. So it was a really fun day. It was fun to play with this group, to finish things out the right way. And yeah, it was a day that I'll remember forever.
Let's open it up for questions from our media. Once again, if you would like to ask a question of our student athletes, please use the raise your hand function. We'll call on you, and then we'll open your mic up, and we'll start off with Eric Peterson. Eric, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
One question for Hunter. It seemed on that first touchdown run, you kind of welcomed the contact on the way to the end zone, even though you might have had a clear path. And then for Jackson, I know you're on defense. What did it mean to have Christian Watson back in the fold?
Well, on the first touchdown, I got past the first guy, and then I saw that second guy, and I like contact, so I just went for it.
As for having Christian, we have a ton of confidence in our offense anyway. We have guys like Hunter, Tamarick, and a fantastic offensive line. We have confidence that those guys are going to be able to put up points regardless of who's in or who's out. But obviously having Christian, he's a special type of player. He's a playmaker like few people that I've ever seen. So knowing he was playing today gave us a lot of confidence and gave us excitement to get the ball back to our offense and watch them go to work.
Our next question comes from Christopher Heidel. Christopher, your microphone is hot. Please ask your question.
Hey guys, congratulations on winning the championship. So what does this mean for you as personally for you to win both of you? This question for both of you guys. What does it mean for you individually winning this championship, going to Frisco and going home with the title?
We put in a lot of work after the loss of Sam Houston last year, and I think Coach was saying it was like 360 some days that we haven't had the championship, and we've been practicing and getting better every day with Kramer and meetings and everything. And it's just awesome to finally achieve your goal that you've had for so long. So
yeah, I would say similar. It's been a lot of fun to have this season, to see the success that this team's had, and to finish where we did. Obviously in the spring things didn't necessarily go our way, but we didn't panic. We kind of looked in the mirror. We were able to humble ourselves a bit and get back to work. And we were able to come back this fall and to have a really good season, and we did it. We did it with the same guys we had in the spring. So it's been a joy. It's been a pleasure to be part of this football team. I'm so grateful for how it ended and where we came from, and that we were able to get back to this spot with the people we had and with the way we did it. So it was really special.
Our next question comes from Dominic Izzo. Dominic, your microphone is hot. Please ask your question.
Hunter, I just got to ask, you had a stretch where you had like 5 straight touchdowns. Did you even do that in high school where you had a stretch like that?
I don't think so, not at all. But, the O-line, blocking great today, and I mean the holes were ginormous, so it makes my job pretty easy when my number gets called. So.
Next question comes from Jeff Kolpak. Jeff, your microphone is hot. Please ask your question.
At Jackson, 25 games in almost a calendar year. Describe that toll it's taken on you.
Yeah, we were thinking about that a lot this week. Whether that's ever been done before by anybody else, and I'm not sure that it has. Just the circumstances that have been around the last year, the last 2 years. It's definitely been a twist in my career that I never could have imagined coming. But looking back now, especially after today, I think we can find a lot of reasons to be grateful for the way things went and the way this team was able to respond. Yeah, so it was kind of a roller coaster the last couple of years, but it's been a lot of fun, and to finish out today, our goal back when all this thing started was that we were going to come out of this doing it better than anybody else, and we can say today that we've done that. So I'm really proud of this team. I'm proud of these coaches. These guys mean the world to me, and giving me something that I'll cherish forever.
Our next question comes from Ronald Smith. Ronald, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
This is Ronald E. Smith. This question for both of the players. Your coach, when asked him about how he described this season and this team, he used the word and he emphasized love. So for you gentlemen, how would you take that? In your mind and your soul, what do you take out when your coach says how much of love he has for this team?
Well, I think that's been obvious over the year. We have a group of guys on this football team that do love each other, and that's grown through the challenges that we've faced, and that motivates us to play well and to play for one another. And man, I can personally say that there are a few people I love in this world more than my teammates, more than my coaches. It's been a privilege and an honor to be part of this program and to play alongside them. And I've made some friends, coaches and players included, that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. So I'm thankful for that, and that plays a huge role in the motivation of myself and also this team.
Like Jackson said, it's really motivating when you care for the guys on the field and off the field with you. Yeah, we spend a lot of time together, so I mean, you get to know everybody on this team, and I mean, our relationships grow day and day. So I mean, when you're spending 5 days, 6 days a week with a position group or a teammate, I mean, you're going to get really close, and you want to play hard for them when it comes to Saturdays. So.
Our next question comes from Tori Couch. Tori, your mic is hot. Please ask your question.
Hunter, your third touchdown put you guys up 28-0 right before halftime. Did that give you guys a little more motivation going into the locker room? Just kind of what was the mood when you guys went up 28-0?
I think we still had business to take care of. I mean, we had 30 minutes left in the game, and I mean, we had to come out hot in the second half. So, I mean, it's not like we stepped on the brakes or anything like that. But I mean, we were still focused, more focused, if that. So, yeah.
We have time for a few more questions. Next up is Nick Kozin. Nick, your microphone is hot. Please ask your question.
Hey, Jackson, you've been a part of these for a couple now, but what was it about the first timers in this game that played for the first time, how they responded? What did you think about that?
Well, we've talked about this before, but even in the spring, we've had to have a lot of young players that stepped up, and we've had to count on them. So, man, I think some of our young guys have done a really good job. They've stepped into some big roles. There was a lot of people on this team that were contributors that probably didn't play as much in the last one. And it speaks to the way that this program develops players, to the way that it cares about players, to the way that older players on the team guide and develop younger players. If you watch the game, you can see a bunch of young people on our team that played really well and contributed a lot to our success. So with that, it's exciting to see what they are going to do in the future. I know I'm excited to watch a lot of these guys. It's been a lot of fun, and I think this program is going to stay headed in the right direction.
We have time for two more questions. Eric Peterson, you're next up. Your microphone is hot. Please ask your question.
This is for Jackson. When Tommy Malott goes down first series of the game, how hard is it as the defense to change your mindset to a different style of quarterback and maybe not even like just let up a little bit because now it's a backup guy in at that spot?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we played against number 12 back in 2019 in a semifinal game, I think. So we had some knowledge of the type of quarterback he was. If anything, our mindset kind of flips from. We knew Tommy was going to come in and run the football. We were pretty sure that the number 12 wasn't going to as much, even though he did get us a few times. But it was a lot more, ready to defend tailback run game, ready to defend some more pass, some shots down the field. So it was a little bit of a flip of mindset, but I think we adjusted it and handled it well.
And our final question for our student athletes comes from Jeff Kolpak. Jeff, your microphone is hot. Please ask your question.
Hey, Jackson, why does this program look so strong and fresh every year in this game?
Well, I would say the amount of work we put in and the amount of depth that we have. I think Coach Kramer, as has been said many times, is one of the best in the business. He does a fantastic job getting us ready to play a season, making us strong and well-conditioned. And then other than that, we have great coaches that develop young players and create a lot of depth. That's one thing that we had this year. If you look at our D-line, they play 8 or 9 guys, and it doesn't seem to be a drop-off. We've rotated a few linebackers over the year, and guys step in and do a really good job. So I think it's a combination of what Coach Kramer's done for us and also the depth that we're able to develop. That is a huge part of it. I think that's what helps us through these long playoff runs is really those two.
And one more question for Hunter. Just talk about being named the most outstanding player today and what it means to you, but also what it means to win it for your team.
Yeah, I'm definitely thankful to have received the award, but I got to give all the credit to my teammates because, the O-line played great. Receivers caught the ball in really needing times. Cam played fantastic. The defense were lights out today. So, it wasn't just me. It was a team win. So, yeah.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Go celebrate it. The 9th time in 11 years that the Bison are bringing the title back to Fargo, North Dakota. Thank you so much, and congratulations again. That'll wrap up our press conferences from Frisco, Texas. We want to thank everybody for participating virtually. The transcripts will be available on the Media Hub here within the next 20 minutes or so. And also the recording of our press conferences will be available within the hour at the NCAA Media Hub. We want to thank everybody so much for their coverage of the 2022 FCS Football Championship live from Frisco, Texas. Thank you very much, everyone.